Hello, I'm Ling Chi, and today we are starting another subject of flower for the beginners. We are using Ning Yeh's 108 Flower Book 1. Today's subject is Primrose. We choose it because it's a purple flower, and we have done the red flower series as well as the pink one. So please check it out on the other subject on the YouTube. And we are introducing the watercolor we acquired from China called Bright Light. It's very budget friendly for the beginners and give you pretty good quality. We are referring it to the Western watercolor Ning Yeh is using in the book. So today I have pre-mixed the colors. We have white diluted with water. We have purple diluted with water. And then we have purple and indigo to make a dark purple. Then we have dark green, light green, which made out different proportion of indigo and yellow. I also made another lighter green, which I use indigo and with mid yellow, which you can see that it's a little bit warmer. And then I have rouge for the dark red, and I have white for the mixing with the yellow. And I will talk a little bit about this white during the session. I also, if you paint a lot, this is maybe something worth invest called Dr. Martin's bleed-proof white. And it mixes well with this yellow. And what does is that it gives you a much more intense center. And I'll demonstrate as we go. The brush I'm using is the large combination brush. I'm using my recent favorite, which is Full Lotus. In the book, refer to large flow. So if you have large flow or any preferred large combination brush, then you can use that. And I also use regular flow for the flower, and then I use Happy Dot, pre-Happy Dot in this case, for the center. The paper I'm using is our practice shot, which is a handmade paper cut into 13 by 19. It's a convenient size. Prepared for you. It's pretty friendly as far as moisture control. And to beginning of this subject, I'm going to talk about separate components so you can practice. I just taught in-person private lesson, and I find these are the things that are important for you to learn. So the first one, we're going to do the flower. And the flower is very useful, this kind of flower, because you can use it in plum blossom, or which is a very iconic subject, or any small cherry blossom. So I want to spend a little time to do it in a bigger flower demo than in the whole composition. So here is my flow brush, and I dip into this diluted white. And then I usually like to rinse the tip a little bit so it doesn't take over the other color's transparency. And then the second color I'm using is light, is purple, which is purple diluted with water. And then the third color is this indigo with purple. And then I blended the tip. So when I blend, I see people use different ways of blend. So I just gently rub the tip. Sometimes I lose the intensity. I add the dark again and then blend it again. So I'm going to do 3 petals from the top down, which is 1, 2, 3. And then the bottom 2 petals hugging the top. And then I use light purple, and then this time I want to make sure that I have intense purple for the center of the flower. So I go lower the boom, and lower the boom, and lower the boom. And then that finished the flower. As it gets a little bit dry, which in this case I'm taking a chance, and I use this bleed-proof white with yellow and for the center. So I do some dots. So you can see that my practice one, that I used this bright lights yellow, white with yellow. So it's a little bit faded, like this one that it just stands out. So if you are bothered by the faded look, then you can invest in this jar of Dr. Martens bleed-proof white. And then the next thing I want to show you is the leaves. These strokes are so important because almost every subject you're going to use. So I'm using my large combination brush in this way. It's a full Lotus. You can use large flow, as the book says. So I'm loaded with light green, and then tip with dark green, and then I will blend. Again, dark green. So the first leaf is going toward the right. So usually it's much easier for people is right-handed. So you go this in a scoop brush stroke, and then a little long stroke just to finish the shape. And then the next one is to the left. So you might, if you are a right-handed, then it might take a little practice. If you're left-handed, then you'll have a much easier time. So then here, and then scoop. So this is also a very important thing to practice. I would like you to have a chance to practice. The third segment of these things I would like you to practice, which is stain, which a lot of times it looks easy, but it's challenging for beginners because it's hard to get a defined line. Most people kind of get a little bit worried, so it kind of gets squiggly. So you can practice a lot on this. So I'm using dark green, and then I tip with dark red, which is rouge in this case. And then, so here, 1, so these are the strokes I would like you to practice. If you get this pre-practice, and then you're much happier with your final result. So now we'll start the whole composition as the book. It's book 1, 108 flower, like this one. So we'll do the leaves. It's like a skirt. So on the book, it marked 1, 2. So we'll do 1, 2 leaves, and then we do 3, 4, 5. So the leaf 1 is like what we just demoed, is a right leaf. So for beginner, the other thing I want to get your attention is don't load your brush too deep. You can see that I'm only less than a quarter into the brush, because if you load too deep, then you won't have any transparency. And then as we go, you might have to rinse the whole thing, because the color does push it into the top, so you will lose that transparency. Then you got to rinse it off and then start over again. So the next one is to the left. And then when I'm talking about the transparency, you can see the dark to light. And then here, finish. Then we have 3, 4, and 5 leaves. So again, I'm using the same brush, light green, dark green, and then this time I'm adding a little bit dark red. So I'm doing the 4. You can look at the book to see, compare it to how does leaf 1 and leaf 2 relate to each other, and then how does the 3, 4, and 5 relationship to the leaf 1. Then you won't have any composition problem. So the first one is in the book, it asks for an orchid bamboo, which is harder brush, and then give you a better bounce, and then so you won't get too big a stroke. So if you have trouble controlling the moisture, then that's where I would go to change the brush. And then I will show it to you on the leaf 5, then that's the difference. So now I have an orchid bamboo. So most of you, that when you start, it's one of the brushes that you buy. So you can see it's a skinnier brush. So you will have less problem as far as the moisture control. So then we have 3A. We'll do 5A, 3A, and 4A, which is light green with dark green and tipped with ink. So these are color leaves are under the shadow. So 3A, 5A, and then there's another one here. So then after that, then we have 6, 7, and 8. So 6 is underneath here. 7, it looks like a much bigger stroke. So I'm going to switch to my large combination brush. I think now we have covered all the main leaves. Okay, so now I'm going to do the flower. In the book, he did the stain first, but I find that was easier for me to do the flower and then connect the flower and leaves with the stamen. So either one, whichever you feel like your brain works for you. So white, diluted white, and I rinsed off the tip a little bit. And light blue and dark blue. And then I blend. So the first flower I'm doing is this one. There's a cluster of 3, the bottom one. I'm doing the bottom one first. So it's right above the tip of this leaves. So and then I'm doing the 2 V shape above this one. Smaller. And then this other one right above these petals. So then I'm doing the center to connect, to lessen the white space. And then I'm doing another flower right on the right, lower right side of this first cluster. So now I'm doing so this is all the flower I have. And then he has several buds. So we are doing just 2 round stroke. 2 buds right above this flower. So I'm doing this and this, and then this and this. And then I have right underneath this here, and I have a little bud. And I have another bud is right here toward the side. And then I have 1 bud drooping down. So the bud is just 2 little dots. All right, so you don't want to wait the flower too dry, because then the center will look very separate from the flower. So I'm using both. You can see that the difference that I use the bright lights yellow and white, which is, and then I also use the bleed proof for this one. So you can have your choice, whichever you like. So now I'm switching to the flow brush. And then I'm going to load dark green with red. So I'm doing the calyx to hold the flower. So I have here and here, I have here and here. And then I got this one. And then I have one for the flower, for the bud. Just little dots, rounded, sweet. All right, so then I'm going to start making statement, which is sometimes is the whole thing ruined it. So pay attention. It's like freeways. You want it to connect two places together, not by itself. So I started with this one. So I'm going to have this one that connected with this flower. So I'm strung it together to connect it with these leaves. So I have here. And then the second one is connected this flower with this leaf. So I have. And, you can't always follow his statement because your flower might be a little bit off than his. So you have to make your own decision how you're going to get it together. So now I'm connecting this two into my main statement. So then I'm connecting these group of leaves with this. And then this. And this. And on here, these two are together, so I'm connecting this one with this flower. So these two are separate group. And then you're also connecting some of these leaves. Make sure that they are zigzagging so you don't have something like a freeway all together, like what they call in a lot of Ning's book called chicken foot. So we might add more statement later, but right now we're going to go into some little dark leaves to add more interesting. So now I have light green with dark green and with ink. So this is we call shadows. So we will have something to make the space more interesting between these two groups of flower. So I will have So in this case, because I have such a spacing here, so I'm going to add more here. So I think this is my composition for Primrose. I hope you enjoyed it, and we always welcome comment. What would you like us to do? And also, if you have any question, you can contact us or just make comments underneath our YouTube. Then we'll be happy to answer anytime when you ask us. Thank you for listening, and then we'll see you soon.